So we have a little short fan film, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That was created by, I know I've talked about them before, but Corridor Digital. They are a visual effects art house pretty much, and they have a YouTube channel. Corridor Digital or Corridor Crew is what they're also known as on their YouTube channel. The link for this video will be down in the description for you to watch the whole thing. But it is a film that the concept that they started with was, how can we improve on the lightsaber, right? Because the lightsaber that you've seen in Star Wars, it's always just the same thing. It's always, and it's cool, but it's always the same thing. Well, they wanted to take it and say, how can we make this more realistic? What would it actually look like if there was a laser, so to speak, that was coming out?
Beam. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they wanted to see what they could do with that. And with that, they created a fan film.
Also, there's a making of, which is like 20 minutes, which I thought was
so good.
Interesting, because that's 20 minutes. The film's like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But their main goal was also to make it more of a realistic fight.
We want to actually go out there and make what we think a lightsaber fight should actually look like.
Like they actually got a fight choreographer and like a sword fighting choreographer to make it more realistic. So the finished product, it's called To the Death. Currently on YouTube. The link is below if you want to check it out. But Patrick, you recommended the movie. You liked this.
I loved it because I watched the making of it first, and actually in the making of the video, they play the whole video at the end. But I liked it because it kind of brought some realism to the Star Wars world, in the sense of they almost made it seem like you were right there with them. They also filmed it with this brand new camera and rig that is sexy.
I'm pricing it out right now, by the way.
It's
a camera and rig all in one.
It's a lot.
And like it measures the ground, so when you're walking, it knows to keep the camera low. This thing is sweet.
What I liked about this is it starts with this girl walking in, and she sees this janitor that's like, he's sweeping or mopping or whatever, and she asks what's going on.
I thought she was a janitor.
No. Either way.
Oh.
But ultimately, she's asked what's going on, and you see these two like Jedi apprentices, would you call them?
Yeah.
That are fighting to the death with these lightsabers because they're learning their skills. It's almost like you're seeing the behind the scenes of, well, how did these Jedi masters, how did they get so skilled? How did they get so good? And this kind of brings you to that. And so I think that's what I really liked about it, is it kind of shows the behind the scenes of these guys. When you see them in the Star Wars movies, they're all like, oh, doing quick, cool, awesome, skilled moves. But it's like, well, how did you learn that? Well, this kind of gives a glimpse of that.
Yeah, they, too much of a spoiler, like, if they cut off an arm, they have the technology to reanimate the arm. The movie didn't rate so high on my level. Just the idea of, they wanted to go a realistic approach. I respect of what the filmmakers were trying to do with this. However, I found it boring. And the only reason I find it boring is that, like, we all know watching a lightsaber fight, it's not real. It looks boring if you make fighting real. If we both hold a lightsaber and we hit, and I just decide to slide it down and cut your hand off, it's boring. I feel like the thought process in making this movie is that they wanted you to keep your distance and make it so you couldn't do that, but make it more realistic instead of like a big swing, a big swooping, whatever. But like, that's theater. That's what makes lightsabers cool. Nobody wants to see like a normal punch in a movie where you like hit somebody and they're just like, ow. They want to see you get knocked out. Like, because that's what theater and that's what film is. So for me, I get that they were trying to make it real, but the fight was really boring to me. It just seemed like yeah, that's what, when I play with my toy lightsaber with like my kid or my brother or whatever, and it's like, haha, you're dead. You're like, well, that was boring. Like, I want to see some swooping swings. And like,
you play with your toy lightsaber with your
yes,
brother?
I have like 7 toy lightsabers. Who doesn't?
You guys are like grown men, right? You have
so
kids and stuff?
Yeah, and I play with my kid. Like, that's
no, but your brother.
Yeah, we all play. We all have toy lightsabers. But
I'm just upset I wasn't invited.
But when you watch Star Wars, nobody's questioning the realism of it. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I got kind of lost in this of like, it was really boring fight. However, technically, the effects are great. The way the sparks, hit off the blades and bounce off the ground. Technically, this is a very visually sound film, and I give them
It's kinda
credit
boring.
on what they brought together. They totally accomplished their goal. Just, if you're going to give me a Star Wars movie with this style of fighting or the Lucas style, I'm taking Lucas all day long. Like, I want to
Oh,
see,
yeah,
I
for
want to
sure.
see the big swings and the big blurs. I want that. So it's kind of like one of those of like, you're giving me what I wasn't asking for. Like, cool.
I think they could have made it maybe a little more theatrical in the fight. I like that they kept it realistic because that's always cool to me. I like as realistic as you can get.
Keeping it real.
But I, keep it 100. But no, but I also appreciate the theatrical elements of filmmaking and understanding that it is fake. It is over dramatized and over exaggerated. I think maybe they could have married those two.
Yes,
a little
100%.
better.
Especially given the technology and the camera that they were using.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a split. This is going to be a weird vote for me. I'm going to say pass. Don't watch to the death, but watch the making of to the death. Does that count? Like, can I say that?
Yeah, you can actually.
Like, watch the 20-minute making of.
Okay.
I think that's totally worth watching because the camera technology and what they use and the programming that they use is amazing.
That glow. In addition, I can also add something called lens reflection. Boom. So this mimics how light passes through the different glass of the lens and reflects within there and then gets filmed.
I'm a watch, but
Are you watching the short or the making?
well, I think I appreciated
Think I
it.
swayed them.
Oh, I think I appreciated it more after having watched the making of it first.
Yeah, so you're probably more of a watch the making of.
I guess if that's an option that we're doing, yeah, I would do that.
We can make whatever credits we want.
That is true because it is our show.
This graphic's gonna say watch the making of.
Yes, and you're an editing wizard. So yeah.
There you go. I love it.